What's up, everybody? We are back from the dead, and yes, as you can already notice, I did pay my electric bill. I have power, so we should have absolutely no issues with it, unless if Brad wants to use his millions of dollars of money to shut down my power again. But hopefully, we're good with that. I am the BrettMan. This is Destiny. Destiny, how are you doing? You have had one crazy month of July so far.
I'm still here.
We should do that as a Back from the Dead T-shirt. Just actually just still here because that's been like your tagline on this show.
Literally, they try to knock me down.
you
Still here.
get knocked back up and get up and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Doesn't being old Rocky Balboa over there, which I'm surprised Braden has not forced you to watch Rocky Balboa yet.
They're on the list. Trust me.
Oh my gosh. But hey, we're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone else in the chat is here. So let's say hello to everybody. Then we'll get the ball rolling because we got a lot of good topics here today for July. We got Ashton's in the house. What's going on there, Ashton? How are you doing? We got Zodiac Z saying good morning to us. So it must be early in the morning where he is at. That's Zodiac Z again. There's Rosie, my dear Rosie. You know the drill. Here are all your roses. They belong to you and nobody else. If you want to share them, that just makes you a great person, which you already are a great person, but just times two. So let's see here. Who else we got in here? I know it's early in the morning, so I know people. There you, Chester. What's going on there, Chester? How are you doing? Just watch the Iron Claw. Raymond's here. What's going on there? Raymond's going to see Twisters tonight. Hopefully, you're seeing that in 4DX because I did that yesterday and it was a freaking amazing experience. But what was funny is that I went with my best friend and his wife, who is pregnant, and she wasn't supposed to do a 4DX. So, yeah, I could just not only imagine the child and her just doing this during the whole movie. God, what the. Yeah, so but she's in all good spirits. She had a great time with the movie, so all's good. Let's see here. Who else we got in here? We got Jing's in the house. What's going on there, Jing? How are you doing? And Sergeant Shitty Pickle. I am absolutely not knowing who that is, but I think this is the first time that Shitty is here. I'm just going to call you Shitty just because that's funny. So, everybody, you know the drill. Make Shitty feel welcome. So, and Ashton asks, will Brett get spanked by Freddy again? Nope. We're good right now. But what happens Thursday probably is going to be worse. So there's your hint for Thursday. So we got Yo Adrian. How you doing? Hopefully all is going well. We got Pap Master. What's going on there, Pap Master? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well with you. We got Davey Devray. What's going on there, Davey? He and Braden will be on. I was about to say Back from the Dead, so we're doing that right now. Good Real Hunting with Nightmare on Elm Street 3 on Thursday. So we're happy to have Davey on. And also Braden, who's been a regular. So let's see here. And that is it for right now. 15 people watching. We appreciate you. And lastly, well, not lastly, but we're just begun. So just in case if you've not seen Back from the Dead before, if you're a first-time listener or viewer of this particular episode, Back from the Dead, we separate the horror movie anniversaries, but there's way too many of them in July, and per the contract, Desi only has allowed 2 hours of her time, so anything over that, we changed the price from $10 to $20, and apparently Brett needs money, so I need to keep that, so we gotta respect that. So we decided to do the integrals of 5. So for this entire year of 2024, we're going to go for numbers of 4 and 9 at the end of their year, along with the movies of last year, because we need to show highlights of those movies as well. So, Desi, before we get into the first year that I particularly have, do you have anything below 1979?
Nope.
Excellent. That is a great start. I just want to make sure I do all my research right. And Chaz, shut up. You need to work on your internet connection when you drive. Smells like, oh my, just
No,
go
he
away.
needs to get a fucking planner to make sure he can show up when he says he's going.
Damn. Uh, so, but Chad, we're glad you're here, my friend. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and go to 1979. The first one I found. There's been many interpretations of Dracula. This is just a different one from 1979 that I have found, released on July the 20th. Okay numbers all around, nothing too much. So if you're a big Dracula fan, you can purchase this, or excuse me, rent this for $3.99. But the big one I found from 1979, though, was the Amityville Horror. That indeed has one of the scariest looking houses. You can just see from the poster with the eyes and everything. Just really, really creepy. A great poster design, if you ask me. But the story behind the Amityville Horror House is what is truly terrifying. I have not seen this movie, but I do intend to watch it at some point because I just know it's important for horror movie history. But Destiny, I remember you watching the Amityville Horror on Fachi's channel not like a while back, and yeah, y'all did what we call is little bit of a boring time. Is that right? Or did you get a chance to revisit this movie and have a better appreciation? And what's also your thought about Dracula?
Well, I haven't seen that Dracula.
Mhm.
There's too many Draculas to watch, so I'm not like rushing to watch that. But the Amityville Horror, I've only seen it that one time fully. I remember, I can't remember if this is before or after that stream. I did try to watch it again, but I cannot remember if that was before and after, and I didn't even make it all the way through, just because I do think it's kind of boring. I think it does have great atmosphere though. Like it's a good fall time watch. It has the vibes for sure, but I just don't really like the story itself. I just don't care that much for it. And then I went back and I rewatched the remake, which I used to really like as a kid. And then even rewatching that, I was like, maybe I just don't really care for these movies that much anymore. But I do think there's a lot more standout moments from the remake. So
Mhm.
if I had to choose, I'd probably go with the remake. But yeah, I mean, it has Margot Kidder in it.
Mhm. Yeah, and of course, Ryan Reynolds, like that's what
Well,
everybody
that's the
says.
remake. The original has Margot
Oh,
Kidder.
the original, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the remake still, but
Melissa
no.
George. Melissa George is in the remake, who I'm a big fan of her. Like, I do like the cast. The cast is really good, I think, in the remake. Because even 2 of the 3 kids, they had some great careers. I don't know the oldest boy, though. But,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just, they're not my favorite. And I want to read the book, too. Even though, like, we know, like, the story itself is pretty much, like, fabricated. But,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Not my favorite. Not my favorite of the 70s, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm still planning on to visit it just sometime shortly. It's just the remake's the one I like. I like the movie because like it showed to me that Ryan Reynolds is just not doing comedy stuff. He can do something else if he
Mhm.
really wants to. But come on, he makes most of his money on freaking comedies and Deadpool, so I don't blame the guy. And also a shitty cell phone service too. But the other thing too with the Amityville Horror, I wish that The Conjuring could like really go into it, like because The Conjuring 2 originally was supposed to be about the Amityville Horror House, and then the third one was supposed to be about that house over in England. I wish they would have played up to that because I felt like the Amityville Horror has such a history behind it that the Conjuring series could have done a really, really good job with it, especially with that opening scene of The Conjuring 2, because they really showed like a lot to that. So, what about like, do you agree with that? Do you think The Conjuring should have touched more upon it, or what they did in Conjuring 2 was just about right?
I mean, I like what they did with The Conjuring too, because I feel like, I mean, when you think about it, there is so many Amityville House movies. Like, I mean, I know I've only seen the first one. I've only seen the remake. I haven't seen even 2 or 3, but there's so many, and we have so many like stories based around Amityville horror. And I feel like even if like when you hear that, I feel like most people already kind of know what you're talking about. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that the whole movie wasn't focused on it and that we just get like a snippet because like it's something a lot of us are already well like versed in, or at least we are aware of what this house is, you know. So I don't mind that they didn't fully focus on it, but I do like that opening a lot actually. So
Mm-hmm.
um it could have been cool maybe. But yeah. I will say though, I love the Amityville house itself. Those windows,
Yes.
I love those windows. Whenever Brady and I were driving around his like old neighborhood, I saw a house with those windows, and I was like,
Oh no.
oh my god, I loved it. I was like, I want that house. I want a
Yeah.
house with these freaking windows. I think they're so cool.
You go, come on, you just want to scare people away. Like, because I know you like in October, you'll just make it like you'll put like 2 lights on it and make it glow at night and just try to create that atmosphere to keep people away.
Oh no, my house is gonna be cool as fuck. They're gonna want to come over.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see that in the future. That's funny. Raymond says Chloe Grace Moretz is the youngest daughter in the remake. Yep, and she's had a very nice career, even as in the remake of Carrie from 2013. So there we go.
And the youngest boy is in a movie that you will be getting into later because he's the boy from Orphan.
Oh my god, that fucking kid. Yeah, I'll get to that fucking kid because my god, he frustrated the hell out of me. So, we got Jamie. What's going on there, Jamie? How are you doing? I gotta do this in the brave voice. Misael, what's going on, buddy? How are you doing? I know that was an awful interpretation of Braden, so I'm never doing that again. But
he was right here in the room with us.
Rox M, I believe you are a first-time person on this channel, so everybody, make Rox feel welcome to Good Will Hunting. We are glad to have them. The Amityville book is super creepy, but the movies haven't captured that as well. So there you go. I know you say you wanted to read the book, so there's your indicated to read the book. So let's see here. What else do we got here? Just to entertain this, what do you call a shitty situation? A situation. Oh my god. Wow. Man. I can even guess what Shitty Pickle's favorite dog is. A Shih Tzu.
Haha.
So all right. So before I get in more trouble here, so let's see here. And Jamie says Ryan Reynolds is beefy. Now, Jamie, calm yourself. Good. You and Rosie, it's too early for all this freaking Ryan Reynolds stuff here.
It's never too early.
It's God. And for the Dracula movie, kind of like with Destiny, I'm not in a rush to watch Dracula movies, but if the cast is there, like Sam Broker, I'm trying to remember because I made you watch that movie from the early 90s. That one I definitely want to watch just because that has some. Oh my gosh. Someone in the chat help me. He's Gordon in the Dark Knight series with freaking Christopher Nelson. Oh my god, it's going to bother me. Are you talking about the guy
that plays Dracula?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't know his name.
Oh my god,
it also has Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves. Those are the two.
Yes,
you know.
Oh yeah. Thank you,
Gary Oldman. Oh yeah,
yeah, Gary Oldman.
Isn't he in something with Hannibal or something like that?
With Hannibal, yes, he was the old guy. He was the old guy in the bed. Or no, okay. No, he wasn't. Yeah, no, he was the evil, like fucked up looking guy.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that one, but I remember it being mentioned. His name being mentioned in a kill count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Hannibal though, I'll just let you know it's still a good movie, but it's like a 2-hour movie that's just very slow. So I'll just warn you of that. Like, it's still a good performance by, of course, Gary. I was about to say Gary Oldman. Yeah, Gary Oldman's still good, but of course, Hannibal Lecter was still very good in that movie as well. But it's very slow for me, and I don't like a slow movie like that.
Yeah.
And Rosie says it's never too early for beefy.
Exactly.
And thank you. Good way to start a Sunday. Absolutely. Just talking about freaking the Amityville Horror House, shitty situations, and freaking Hannibal. So there we go. So all right. Anything else from 1979?
Nope, that's it.
Awesome. And did you have anything from 1984?
No.
Yes, 3 for 3. So far, we are doing excellent because she caught me a couple of years ago leaving out Malignant, and I've been trying ever since not to forget a popular title like that. But, Brad, if you're listening, buddy, old pal, we're going to talk about your favorite Friday the 13th on the history of this planet here. And that is Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And just in case you all want to know, Brad fucking hates this movie. I'm just rubbing in the salt with him. But this movie, folks, even though you see all those bad numbers right there, please don't let that fool you. Because to me, actually, I like to defend this movie the most, more than any other movie within the Friday the 13th franchise. Because again, I understand is Jason takes a boat, Jason takes Vancouver, takes whatever he wants to freaking take. He takes a lot of lives in that movie as well. But it's just like the visuals once you actually get to like the Vancouver or New York, especially when it stands in Times Square. Just that whole visual alone makes the movie so worth it. And plus, there are a lot of cool kills in this movie too, with the sauna rocks, the guitar, freaking Charles with the freaking barrel of just disgusting toxics and all that. Like this movie just still has some entertainment value to it, in my opinion. What about you, Destiny? Are you kind of like on my side, like there's still entertainment value in this, or are you on Brad's side that you just really do not care for this movie?
I'm on Brad's side. Like,
Damn it.
I watched this growing up a lot, and then I watched it a few years ago, and I was like, oh, that's not that bad. It's not as bad as everyone says. And then I rewatched it like last year, and then again this year, and I was like, what the fuck was I talking about? This is so bad. Like, and personally, here's my thing. I don't mind it. And then I feel like once it gets to New York is when it loses me. I mean, of course, the shots, like you're saying, are cool. Him and like that part is cool. It's the very end, I think, is so bad. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm really just don't care. Like the characters aren't that great, which in a lot of them they're not. But I even like some of the characters in Seven, and it's not like they're super fleshed out, but I think it's just who they're played by. And with this one, I mean, I like the bitchy girl, and I like her friend. I think they're
Oh,
fine.
Tamra.
Yeah, but then like even like the final girl and like the main people you're supposed to be rooting for, I'm like, I really don't care about them. The final girl I think is probably one of the weakest in the Friday 13th franchise. But I like the bitchy girl a lot. I actually think she's more fun to watch than our final girl. So there's some characters I don't mind, and I like the rocker girl. I think she's pretty cool. So there's some characters I do like. It's just our main people we're supposed to be rooting for. I think they're just so boring. And then the story like really loses me whenever they get like into the whole like underground and all the sewage stuff, of course. And so, I don't mind Jason on a boat. Like I actually like that part. It's just when they get to land is when it really starts to lose me. So yeah, definitely not one I think I'll be rewatching. I'll watch the Friday 13th movies just because like the last two times I just found myself like fast forwarding, and if I'm sitting there doing that, there's no point in watching it, especially when I've already seen it so many times. So yeah, not one of my favorites, unfortunately, but I did used to like it.
Yeah, and I don't blame you though, because it would have been cool just to have everything on the boat. Because like in the other Friday the 13th movies, when you're on land, at least there's places for you to go. When you're on the boat in the middle of the ocean, you're fucked. So that could have been just like a cool concept. They fully went into that. But Raymond says Rini is the whiniest of all the Friday the 13th final girls, which I'll be honest with you, yeah, that's kind of true. I definitely agree with Destiny, though, that she is the worst final girl out of all the Friday the 13th final girls.
She's just not memorable either. Like I can't even think of like anything she did that was genuinely like useful,
Like
So
if your meme is popular than your movie, that's bad. And you know the meme I'm talking about, the one where she gets choked and all that.
yeah.
Oh my god. Harder Daddy. Wait, what? that always makes me laugh. Jason takes the love boat. Yeah, the love of killing people. So that's one way to take it. And I like kind of had the idea if they're doing a Friday the 13th movie in the future. You say you liked watching Tamara more than Rennie, because I agree with you on that. So it would be cool and different if the next final girl in the Friday the 13th movie could be, it's like such a bitch, but then she becomes the final girl. Because I think that could be a very cool idea. Just a different take versus just the final girl just being, just a, I wouldn't say damsel in distress, but just, the girl that's just all positive and everything. But so that could be a little different.
Yeah, well, I do think as time has gone on, final girls have definitely strayed away from like the squeaky clean type of look, obviously. Like you have Maxine, who is a final girl, who is not like that whatsoever. And then you have Tree, who's a final girl, who is a major bitch. And then she becomes nicer. Whatever. I preferred her when she was bitchy because that's just fun to see. So we do see it sometimes. It's nice when we do see it. But yeah, I think there should be more, like, just flawed final girls, I think is what it is. Because it's more realistic, and I think it adds more character.
Right. And Sienna Shaw, like, she was still kind of like a positive person, but she was kind of like a mix of both, though, at the same time in that movie, because she was picking on her brother a lot in that movie. But, like, at the same time, she still loved him. It's just kind of like you said, like a flawed final girl. So I definitely like to see more of that. And we've been getting some good ones here in the 2020. So hopefully we still get a lot more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We got a Custom Footwear. What's going on, man? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well. And let's see here. Pap Master decided to become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you for hopping along there. Because again, I need money because Brad keeps on torturing me. But no, we really do appreciate it. So don't have my classic ones, but you know what? We'll still play this particular. You okay?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see here. Pat Master, here is your video.
Investors. Where do we find investors?
Right there.
Oh, hello, Belchers. Just having one of our money fights.
Classic money fight. Saying again, Pat Master, thank you so much, and I will update the YouTube membership card for the next live stream. So that is all I got from 1989. Did you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Sweet. All right, let me just get all these notes here. And yeah, we're going to be actually before we get really busy with this particular year. Did you have anything from 94?
Only one thing.
All right, what do you got for us?
It's called Vault of Horror 1, and it looked like it was something. Let me look it up. From Tales from the Crypt, I think.
Oh, okay. Which I really enjoyed that, so that gets me interested.
And really, the only reason I'm mentioning it is because there's one actor in particular that I saw that I was like, well, have to mention this then.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, fuck, where's it at?
Let's see here.
Yeah, I can't find the thing. Anyways. But it looks to be something with Vault of Horror, something to do with, like, comic books and shit like that. So, I don't really know. But apparently there's different parts. So I thought I would mention it because it seemed cool if I can figure out, like, what exactly it's supposed to be.
Nice. And to figure out that actor, too. Just because I assume already it was Kyle MacLachlan. But
Kyle MacLachlan.
MacLachlan. Damn it. See. Okay, I'm going to hit this button on myself real quick. Oh, go ahead.
On the thing it shows with him, it says volume 3, but then it also shows 1. So, I don't really know. But I'm seeing Tony Goldwyn, Tom Hanks. So those are some other people that are popping up along with Kyle MacLachlan. So,
Oh, so he is in that movie.
Yeah. So I think he's in whatever part. Because it's different, like, parts. Because I guess it's like an anthology in different sections. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some memorable people in there. So I'm curious. However, I'm supposed to watch that.
Nice. So yeah, definitely. If y'all are interested in all those names she mentioned, definitely give that put that on your watch list. And since I messed up her guy's last name, I gotta do this to myself real quick.
Shame!
Yeah, because I deserve it. So and that was the only one from 1994, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. We got a busy month here, or busy year here for 1999. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mention 2 at a time. And if you want to talk about stuff, and we'll talk about it. Because these first 2, I'm pretty sure these will go by pretty quick, because the first one will be Candyman 3 Day of the Dead, was a TV premiere on July the 9th of 1999. As you can see, horrible ratings right there. And then this other one, before we get to one particular movie, they made a little I think this is like a little documentary of the curse of the Blair Witch, which is like kind of like going behind the scenes. I believe that's what it is. Destiny is behind the scenes of the Blair Witch project. So if you're curious about it, a little how they did certain things, it's available on Prime, Vudu, or as called Fandango, and Tubi. Any thoughts about these two movies, or one documentary and a movie?
I've seen Candyman 3, but it's been so long, and I don't really remember too much about it other than like the main girl of it. But the kill count for it's hilarious. And then for the Curse of the Blair Witch, I have that on my watch list. I haven't given it a watch yet, but I do want to watch it.
Nice. And shitty, I agree with you. Candyman has sequels that sound shitty. For what I hear, they're not very good. Robbie Sobel can try to convince you otherwise. Just for me, I heard not very good. And yes, it was a TV movie, and that you could take that for what you want with it. TV movies usually do not succeed that often when they have a TV premiere. And Rayman even says, I like Candyman 3 Surprise. Nice, dude. That's awesome when you enjoy it, man. Hey, more to you, my friend. So let's see here. Curse of the Blair Witch fooled me. How did it fool you? So let me know, Jamie, because that is very curious to me. Like, how did it fool you? Let's see here. All right. So those are those two. So let's get on to the next two I had. One of them being the movie that I had you watch. And just again, if y'all are new to Back from the Dead, if there's a movie that either of us have not watched, we will have the other watch that particular movie so we could give more context about that movie. But before we get to that one, Des, let's do a popular movie here. And that is Lake Placid. Came out on July 16th of 1999. We will talk about its rival movie here shortly, but okay numbers all around. I think the numbers are a little better than what Rotten Tomatoes has it at, but what do you think, Destiny, about Lake Placid?
This is another one I watched a lot as a kid. I have not seen it in a while, but I remember liking it enough. You know, definitely not one of my favorite creature features, but I remember it being okay. But it's just not one that I find myself like wanting to go back to too often. Betty White, of course, is in it. Love her. Love her in the movie. She's hilarious. And I remember liking like the main girl and stuff. So I remember, enjoying it because my favorite creature features that are water-based. Like I love water-based creature features specifically. So I enjoyed it enough, but definitely not one of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't remember I only watched it one time, and that was for a Slash It Out video me and Brad did. And I don't remember the movie quite as much, but I do remember all the Betty White parts and her just being funny and just, being Betty White. Like anything with Betty White in the movie is just going to improve the movie so much. But the effects of the gator were just okay with me. I wasn't a big fan of what the story was with trying to capture this gator like on a beach line or something. It's just, it's one of those beaches like at a lake and all that. Just in case which I hate those, by the way, because it kind of makes you feel shitty, like, oh, you're not rich enough to go to the beach, so here's this just to solve your troubles. Like, no, it's not the same damn thing. So those things always piss me off. But the movie, I just thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. It's okay.
Are you the same way with me with lakes about like like those lake beaches? Like, do they piss you off, or is that just a weird thing that I just obsess over for no reason?
I mean, I like them. I mean, I don't really go into lakes. I have before because like there's a lake not too far from here that has it's like a camping ground. So
okay.
I swim in that lake, and I've gone like tubing in lakes and stuff like that. So I don't mind them. And there's like a river that my family used to go to a lot, and it had like the same thing, like a beach type thing, and we would swim there. So
very cool. So I'm just an asshole then. So
yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. I trust me, at my job they called me asshole before, so I'm used to it. But Evil Alex, what's going on there? Saying howdy, my friend. Let's see here. And Oliver Platt. I'm going to say that's for Lake Placid, Chad, for who's in that movie. So he wanted to mention Oliver Platt. Let's see here. All right, those are that one. If this is the movie you watched, Destiny, I had you to assign you to watch, and that's a little movie called The Haunting. And the reason I had you watch this movie is for the cast alone, with Liam Neeson, and I forget the girl's name off top of the hand, but I'm pretty sure she was in the movie Zorro as well. But yeah, so she's just she was all over the place in the 90s. So Destiny, what were your thoughts? Do you agree with kind of like these numbers you see on screen here, or did you like it just a little bit more?
Well, so like you said, first of all, the cast is great. It has Owen Wilson, which I was like, what the fuck? Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Wow.
Lily Taylor from The Conjuring. She plays the mom in The Conjuring. Like you said, Liam Neeson. So, Virginia Madsen, she's in it just for a little bit. But, so there's a lot of people I was like, holy shit, great cast. But I did look at the Letterboxd rating, and it's a 2.3, and I was like, oh, fuck. And so I was starting it, and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad, which I have not seen the original. And also, I didn't know that this is based off of The Haunting of Hill House, because I read that book earlier this year. And so I started it, and, they said Eleanor and Theo, and I was like, oh, fuck, this is the book. So at first, I'm really enjoying it, because I enjoyed the book. I love The Haunting of Hill House series, which it is definitely not like the book at all. Like, there's like key things like picked out of the book into the series, but at first this is following like the book, I would say, like pretty decently. It's obviously like updated for the 90s. It doesn't take place like the same time period as the book, but I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. It's a good like adaptation so far. And then they took some crazy ass creative liberties, and I was like, that was not in the book. And so, like, I would say I really enjoyed the first half. I did not like the second half, because the second half is just so fucking weird and not, like I said, not like the book. And also, I didn't know that Scary Movie 2, all this stuff with Hugh Crane, all that stuff, all that is from this movie.
Even Pip Daddy Kane?
Huh?
Even Pip Daddy Kane? Because that's the joke in Scary Movie 2. It's like, oh, that's old Master Kane. Who's that? That's old Daddy Kane.
All that is from this movie, which I never knew that. Like, I remember watching The Changeling, and there's the part with the ball, and I was like, oh, fuck, so that's what the ball is from Scary Movie 2. It's the Changeling. And I just kind of assumed everything else was, like, the Changeling as well, just they changed up. But then I was watching this, I was like, oh, my God, this is Scary Movie 2. So, it's always fun whenever I watch movies that I missed, and I'm like, oh, that's what they were making fun of, because I did not know that whatsoever. Raymond, yes, and it's fucking crazy. That doesn't happen in the book. And again, like, they change things in the book. Like, Owen Wilson does play the character of Luke, but like Luke is related to the people that own the house and stuff like that, and that's why he's there. But that's like not why he's there in this. They're there for like insomnia research, but the place is haunted, and the CGI gets really fucking weird and really bad. It is definitely cheesy. So, like, I really enjoyed it. And then I was like, you so fucking lost me. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Definitely not one that I'll go back to often. But I do want to watch the original, especially because I saw, who was it? I think Raymond or something said
yeah,
that.
I think I had it. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, COD, how are you doing?
Oh, COD. Thank you. Yes. 60 Stone was all like the book. I definitely want to check it out. It is on Tubi right now. I saw that earlier, actually. So, I'll give that a shot. But yeah, it just got very weird. Like, completely, which again, it does take key moments, though, from the book. So it's not like it's 100% different, but a lot of it I was just like, no. No, and it doesn't even look good. So I'm just like, I don't like that at all. If it would have looked better, maybe. But yeah, so not my favorite, but I'm glad I watched it, because it was one that I had on my watch list. So finally got it.
Nice. And I'm going to watch it anyway, just because you sold me with the Scary Movie 2. And I want to see all the jokes, because that's what I normally do with Scary Movie, is anytime they make a joke of a movie, I want to watch the movie just to see if I can pick out the jokes on what they do with it.
Have you seen What Lies Beneath?
Absolutely. I've been meaning to talk to you about that movie. I just haven't gotten around to like talking about it because you had that busy month. But I'll tell you, we're going to go off a side tangent real quick because What Lies Beneath is so criminally underrated. It is an astounding movie.
Like, because I just watched it a couple months ago, and I was just like, holy shit. The only thing I knew from that movie, again, was the scene from Scary Movie 2, your wife. But even that being said, like, I still had no idea where the story was going. It is so freaking good. I love the setting of it. Like, it looks so, like, I want to live, like, because it reminded me so much of, like, the town of, like, Twin Peaks. Like, it gave the same, like, atmosphere.
It kind of does.
I love it. I would love to live somewhere like that, but it was so freaking good. I can't stop thinking about it. It was raining the other day, and I was like, fuck. I need to watch it again. I didn't get to watch it, though, unfortunately, but so good. So good.
That third act is nothing but extraordinary. Like, just, it has everything, like, from thriller and everything. And what that movie actually holds a place to me a little bit is because in my English class junior year, we watched the movie, and every single female in my class was freaking screeching, like, going like, ah, like that. And I was just sitting there like, is this movie scaring me, or is these chicks in the classroom scaring me with all their screaming? Like, I can't fairy tell, but the story is absolutely excellent. So it was the easiest paper I ever written about a movie ever. It was like a 90. I think I got on the paper like a 97 out of 100. Like, so I aced that paper because, again, I love that movie so much for what they do. And of course, Scary Movie 2. Like, what did you think, Ray? I just came down here to get a banana. Like, yeah, I think I'm killing her, but
shit. For it being PG-13 as well, it's kind of racy. It's pretty spicy. That scene, I'm like, damn, PG-13. That's wild. That's like one more. Okay, but that's also like I watched Critters, and that's PG-13, but there's full-on boobs in it, and I was like,
wait a minute.
But so is Swamp Thing. Like, that's PG, I think.
Wait, when did Critters come out? 84? 84, 83?
Or maybe 84.
Okay, because what I'm thinking is the reason we saw boobs in either of those is because they haven't gone to that rated R or like create PG-13 just yet.
I would still just think like boobs would be like already like rated R, but yeah, for What Lies Beneath, for it being PG-13, it's pretty spicy, which I very much enjoyed. But yeah, that was a great movie.
No,
I'm gonna rewatch it again already. It was so good.
Hey, today might be the great day for it, but I want to get to Jamie's comment real quick, saying she's got to go, got to have some chicken barbecue. Dude, Jamie, save some. Send it to 93. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to give out my mailing address, or I'm afraid Shitty will send me a shitty surprise. No, but no, Jamie, hopefully you have a great day, and thank you for hanging out with us. Let's see here. I gotta say hello to Ryan. Ryan, what's going on? Didn't forget about you. We just got on a side tangent of What Life's Beneath. Heavily suggest that movie to everybody. And that's actually would be a good top 5 list, is to do top 5 PG-13 horror movies.
That is one of mine and Braden's ideas.
We'll let y'all do that first.
There was one stream we were supposed to do it, but I think we had to we both wanted to get around to some more before we did it. So we pushed it back, and then we haven't live streamed in 3 years. So,
well, hopefully that changes this week, but no, we'll let you all do that one first, just since you all had that idea already generated. I just thought of it, so it wouldn't be right. So, plus she would kill me. What Lives Bequeath? So do I see with your movie make fun ofs.
There you go.
So let's see here. Yeah, and Rox, I agree. It's so underrated. So I definitely suggest everyone to watch it. And Brooke, what's going on there, Brooke? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well with you. Let's see. Yeah, she just says hi to you too, so I can't leave you out of it. So let's see here. I think Isn't Jaws PG? Why is the rating system so shitty? That is a great question, especially during that time.
Yeah, so
I,
Jaws is PG.
mm-hmm.
And then I think Swamp Thing is PG. And then Critters is PG-13, I believe.
Mm. So I guess for that PG-13, they haven't distinguished whether like boobs was allowed or not. So that's kind of weird for Critters being PG-13 and showing a boob scene. It's kind of like the rule where
So Critters is
PG-13.
86.
Oh, 86. So yeah, that definitely should have been rated R then. So that
That's
confused
why I was
me.
so confused. I was like, if it was earlier, because like I knew about because it was like Gremlins and stuff like that, and like
Mm-hmm.
I think Poltergeist or something. Like those are the movies that kind of started
Yeah.
like a PG-13 type of thing. And
Yeah,
so,
I think even Gremlins was the very first PG-13 horror movie. That is.
yeah, Poltergeist. So it was 84, which is why I was so just like actually confused with Critters. I'm like, how is PG-13? Because this is 86, because it was 84 when that started. So yeah, I was just, that was something totally random. But I like was searching, I Googled it like 10 times to make sure I wasn't going crazy. Because I was watching it on Tubi. It said PG-13. I was like, there's no way. So then I Googled it, I went to Letterboxd, IMDb, I was checking everything to be like, are they fucking with me? How is it? But yeah. Anyways.
Oh my gosh. Now I want to watch Critters, which there is a certain Critter movie we'll talk about later. That would be exciting. But definitely, I said earlier, Lake Placid had a rivaled movie. I say it's a rivalry because it came out in the same month, the same year, like 2 weeks apart. But I prefer this movie, and the movie I'm talking about is Deep Blue Sea. They ate me. A fucking shark ate me. If anybody's a Chappelle Show fan out there in the chat, but this is Deep Blue Sea, released on July 28th of 1999. Definitely one of my top, I would say probably at this time, a top 3 shark movie of all time. I just love the cheesiness of this movie, and money, money, money make the world go round. And LL Cool J and his pet bird. I could just gush over this movie, but what about you, Des? You were shaking your head like you were ready for some Deep Blue Sea talk. What do you think about Deep Blue Sea?
I really enjoy Deep Blue Sea. Out of the two, it's definitely the one I would pick. Again, not one of my favorites even, but I still much prefer this because I love like sharks. That's already like it's a shark movie. You already got me because I'm a big fan of shark movies itself. But also like I just like the characters more in this. You have Samuel L. Jackson, surprising death scene. Even the ending, I remember watching and I was shocked by the ending. I cannot remember what's his name, the main guy in it.
Thomas Jane.
Yeah, him.
Mm-hmm.
I like him in it as well. So yeah, I think the scene with the guy that was being airlifted into the helicopter and then gets like dropped into the water. That scene I think is legitimately so fucking scary, and to see him like being up and like it going towards and the shark coming after him, like one of my fears is being in the water and like being attacked by a shark or like feeling something and then like something happening like that. One of my biggest fears. And so like a shark movie already just like they do actually like really scare me. And that scene especially has always stuck with me. It has stuck with me way more than anything from Lake Placid has. That movie, like that scene right there alone, yeah, fucking scary.
Yeah, and the thing that get like kind of like it does like what gets me like scared me sometimes is like when you put that one scientist decide to put his hand in the water, which first off, fucking dumb as hell idea. Thomas Jane's butt in those tight scuba pants. Oh, calm yourself, Rosie. Damn.
Honestly, though, she's not wrong.
Okay. If we're gonna mention Thomas Jane in the scuba tight pants, what about we gotta mention the girl for? I still don't have an answer to this day why she decided to strip down out of her outfit and all that. I just felt like, does she really needed to do that? But hey, it's good to look at. But
no, look, spoiler alert for a movie that came out in '99. She did not have to freaking die. She could have just cut her hand and let the blood drip. You didn't have to die.
Right.
They're sharks. Like, that's their whole thing. And they're, like, super smart. I think they would have a little bit of blood, maybe, like, throw your hand around in the water a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to freaking die. That, like, actually, you know how people, they always talk about Titanic. You say Titanic, and they're like, you could have fit on the boat. She didn't have to fucking die. She could have just, and let it play out. It, like, shocked me, but it also, like, pissed me off, because I was like, well, that was just stupid. Anyways.
Well, Leo could have just, survived it. She would just scoot over. It's already been proven that he could have fit on the boat or fitted on the door. Sorry, I'm going on Titanic tangent, so we're going to skip away because I know we'd be there 30 minutes debating on that. But want to say hi to Blu-ray real quick. Blu-ray, how are you doing, my friend? Oh yeah, and to get back to that scene real quick, just when the scientist puts his hand in that water, I was like, okay, first off, that's fucking dumb, but it terrifies me because that was the first time in the movie we saw the IQ of those sharks. The shark actually playing dead to attack his enemy and biting that guy's arm off. Like, holy shit. That's when I knew we were in for a fun ride. But yeah, Deep Blue Sea is such a fun movie. Let's see here.
I agree.
They killed her off because the test audiences hated her. Well, that's still not a reason, though.
She wasn't that bad, honestly. Like,
she
whatever.
wasn't. I liked her. Like, I liked what she was wearing too at some points, but at the same time, I did like her. I didn't have a problem with her. But yeah, Rox was agreeing with it. Y'all right. She didn't have to dive or die in like that, and Kay could have scooted over. Yeah, absolutely, she could have scooted over. That's selfish. Like, gets me mad. But anything else about Deep Blue Sea before we get to the last movie of '99?
Nope.
Cool. So, oh yeah, and that one comment too about LL Cool J having a big year in '99 of Deep Blue Sea and Halloween H2O. Yeah, I bet he was making bank that year. So good for him. So let's see here. All right, let's go to one of the big topics of today's episode, and that is the Blair Witch Project. Came out on July the 30th of 1999. The Rotten Tomato critics gave this an 86, while the audience gave it a 57. And unfortunately, I am one of those 57. But I think my problem with this movie, with the Blair Witch, I was just too late to the party with it. It's just like right before I was a horror fan, I heard about the Blair Witch. I saw the ending shot of it, and I was like, this movie just looks dumb. And then when I finally became the horror fan, and I really gave this movie a fair chance, I was just bored to tears. I understand, like, for its time being a found footage flick of what it did for the horror genre, and Paranormal Activity just took it to the whole other level. But other than that, though, the Blair Witch Project, yeah, it's kind of scary when you think there's this thing in the woods and all that, and it can scare you. But I was just waiting pretty much for us. I even forgot how long this movie was, but I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for something creepy to happen. So I'm not sure if it's just me, but what about you, Destiny? Did you have kind of like that same approach, or did you really enjoy this movie?
Well, I watched this later in life. I was probably like 15, I think, or 14, because I was in ninth grade specifically. I remember when I watched it, and I was home alone and everything. I watched it, and I remember not being scared, but I still love it. Like, even though at that time I didn't find it scary, now whenever I watch it, I make sure it's like complete darkness, as loud as I can get it to be. And I find it to affect me a lot more now. I think there's parts of this movie that are genuinely so funny between the characters. I think the whole approach of it's pretty crazy. I wish I was around to see it, but I was born in 98, so I was unfortunately not there for this. But I think the whole idea of it's so cool. It didn't start the subgenre of found footage. It wasn't the first, but it really, because Cannibal Holocaust wasn't super, like widespread, but this is something, they were really pushing this whole like marketing thing, which I think is so cool. Mm-hmm. So, I wish I was there. Fortunately, I wasn't, but I think it still holds up for me today. I watch this every October. It's one that's always on my watch list because I think it's such a good, just a fall time type of movie. It doesn't have to specifically be October, but I think it works really well. But I watch it every October. I love it. I think it's just such a good, unsettling time. And I really like that ending. The ending, I think, is really good. And you know what? I like Blair Witch as well. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I don't mind Blair Witch. I think Blair Witch is a fun time. It could have done a lot more, though. I will say that. But
are you talking about the 2016 one?
yeah,
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that one.
I like it. I think it could have done more with its concept. There's a lot that they could have done, I think, that they just didn't do. But that being said, I still think it's a good time. And I usually do watch it like as a double feature. So I also watch Blair Witch every October as well.
Hell yeah. And like you said, but I think it did a great job with marketing because it freaked out a lot of people. They thought this was indeed a real movie. So again, I appreciate all that. That's why I'm not trying to hate on it too much. It's because I was just extremely late to the game of this movie. And plus, the quick story real quick, this movie pisses me off though, because me and my buddy Chris, we went to a place in downtown Knoxville where we had a horror movie trivia night and we were dominating. We got to the final one, we put all of our points in the pod just to double it and all that, and the question was, what is the biggest profit horror movie of all time? We said it was the Blair Witch Project, but they said no, it was Paranormal Activity, and we fought with them for 5 minutes. Like, no, that's bullshit. It's the Blair Witch Project. So the Blair Witch Project cost us the victory.
Damn.
Yeah, so I was really pissed off that night. I was like, we fucking were kicking everybody's asses in that one fucking question. So, fuck you, Blair Witch. Well, no, it's mainly, sorry, excuse me, it's fuck you, Paranormal Activity, because that's such a wrong answer. But okay, so that is all the movies I found in 1999. Did you add anything else?
I do have one more that is not, I haven't seen it, but I thought I would mention it. And that is Eyes Wide Shut. And I'm mentioning it because Mia Goth recently talked about it when talking about like Maxine. She went to like parties that were like reminiscent of like the parties in Eyes Wide Shut. It is on my watch list. And like the release dates for this is like all throughout the year, but for the US release, it was July. And like most, I think it was the UK that had like a September release, but Eyes Wide Shut, it's on my watch list.
And that's with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, right? Yeah.
So I've seen like images from it. So I definitely want to check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I heard good things about that movie. So like that, I'm glad you brought that up because like I would say that's a thriller movie, but you know, thriller and horror movies go hand to hand. And I hear nothing but good things about that. Okay, there's your indicator right there. I love Eyes Wide Shut. It's my second favorite Kubrick film. Oh, it's a Kubrick film. So yeah, that'll go up. That's moving up the watch list. So thank you, Blu-ray. Let's see here. Probably not, but it would be greatly if they could. Longlegs had a great campaign. Sorry for the random. No, that's not random at all. I think their campaign was very great. I just wish it had more positives than negative from the audience, though. Like with how the movie turned out. So, let's see here. Evil Alex says, Eyes Wide Shut is worth a watch. More an unsettling drama. There we go. I love unsettling anything. So bring it on. I'm moving it even more up there. So great find there, Destiny. Let's see here. I think we're good to move on to 2004. And I know we indicated that The Haunting had a lot of Scary Movie 2 references. But with that, we got to get to another movie that Scary Movie 4 referenced a good portion of, and that is The Village from M. Night Shyamalan, released on July 30th of 2004. Not good numbers all around. Even though IMDb, that's pretty solid for a horror movie, and 3.3 is not bad either. It's just Rotten Tomatoes, where I don't think a lot of horror fans are on Rotten Tomatoes as much, but they're still there. But overall, though, this movie, I liked it okay. It's just kind of like when Scary Movie 4 Conway gave away one of the big plots of the movie. I think a trailer or marketing thing gave it away too from my research about the film. But M. Night Shyamalan, it's just his thing is he has a lot of misses and a lot of hits. I think this is just like a middle of the road with me. Try to remember the actress's name, Desi. Maybe you can help me, but she was in Jurassic World, the redhead girl. Something Dallas. For some reason, I want to say Bo Dallas, but that's a wrestler. But I just know it's something Dallas.
Yeah.
I am going to look it up real quick because that's pretty much all I had with The Village. It's just a solid movie, nothing too impressive, and it's just I don't think it's bad as some people say it is. But what about you, Destiny? Have you ever seen The Village before?
Dallas Bryce Howard. Is that it? I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
think that sounds right. Let's see here. Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashton.
Bryce. Whatever it is.
Yeah, it's Bryce Dallas Howard. It's just
Okay.
little switcheroo and all that. But yeah, she's the redhead chick from Jurassic World.
Yes. Yes. I haven't seen this, but like you said, the Scary Movie 4, I watched that. And I always wondered, I was like, what is this movie that they're talking about? And then I was watching like a YouTuber, and then I saw her, and I was like, oh fuck. I saw like the red coat, and I was like, oh damn it. So then I knew a big twist of the movie. I like the main twist of the movie. So I haven't seen it yet. And it's mainly because of that, because I'm like, damn, it does suck already knowing what it is.
Yeah, and I did not like the ending at all. Like, I was just like, oh, really? Like, M. Night Shyamalan, is this the best you can do for us? Like, you could have done better.
And is Joaquin Phoenix in this one as well?
Yes, Joaquin Phoenix is in this movie, yes. And so is Adrian Brody, if you remember that name, because he was in the third Predator movie. I know you haven't dived into the Predator, but just for those in the chat, he's in the third Predator movie.
No, the name does sound familiar though.
So yeah, I was looking up his Letterboxd real quick. They put a lot of his fancier titles up there. But anything else about The Village? I know you say you haven't seen it, but Scary Movie 4, yeah, it does the job in spoiling the movie a little bit.
Yeah, no, but I'll give it a watch at some point though. I do want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's not one of M. Night Shyamalan's worst movies he's done, but it's just like kind of like right there in the middle. Just like it's okay, or just just take it as you will. So, all right. Anything else from 2004?
I do have one more, and that is maybe I've already talked about it. I feel like they all kind of start to run together.
No, go for it.
That is Ginger Snaps Back. The beginning, so it's the prequel.
Oh, okay.
And it's like set, I think, in like the 1700s maybe, or something like that, or like the 1600s. So it's very like, set, like old. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only seen like half of it. I just never went back to finish it, so I need to just like restart it. But I did enjoy it because it has Catherine Isabel and oh my god, I can't remember her name, but who plays the sister, who plays Bridget in the movies. So they're both in it. I need to go back and give it another watch. And it's also like a snowy setting movie too, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and I love snow setting movies.
Yeah, so I have to finish it, but I do really like Ginger Snaps and Emily Perkins. Thank you, Raymond. Emily Perkins, because she's also in She's the Man. I love her in She's the Man. And her and Catherine Isabel play sisters in Another Cinderella Story, starring Selena Gomez. Crazy. So,
Selena.
They play sisters in. But yeah, Ginger Snaps Back, and I love the title. Even though I always thought that this one would have been the second one.
Right.
Because,
just to kind of give like background context of it. I think we talked about like the second one previously on Back from the Dead, or I know we've talked about it this year with the second one.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, we did talk about the second one, which I enjoyed somewhat. It's one that, even though I watched it, like I don't remember a whole lot from it. The first one I think is the best though, mainly because you have Catherine and Isabel in it as Ginger the most. Like you have her at her most in this first movie, but I love both of them together.
Nice. And I've been wanting to check out more of the Ginger Snaps because I did enjoy that one when you had me watch that for my 14 days of horror one year. So I've been because again, even Catherine Isabel, I'm going to watch the movie because I just enjoy her as an actress very much. And Chester, yes, we did talk about Jason Takes Manhattan. So after this stream, if you want to rewind and watch that segment, you absolutely can. So let's see here. Okay, and so let's go. Was that the only one for 2004?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and go to 2009 with the movie that you had me watch, and I'm pissed off because it took me forever to watch this movie, and I know why a lot of people love this movie, and that is The Orphan. Was released on July 24th of 2009. Yeah, and those numbers, like IMDb has the great representation of that. I think it just needs to go a little higher on IMDb and Letterboxd, but Rotten Tomatoes, that sucker needs to shoot way up, in my opinion, because like, I even messaged Destiny this over the weekend, like that opening scene in this movie came this close to almost make me turn it off. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And then after that, and as the story progresses, I just fell in love with this movie. But more than anything, I fell in love with Farrah Farmiga in this because I even rival like what her best performance is. Is it The Conjuring or The Orphan? I'm having a really difficult time of distinguishing which of her performances is better because she was really damn good in Orphan. Of course, Esther definitely shot up there for me of like a top 10 horror villain of all time because I thought she was that damn manipulative, controlling. Like she knew exactly what she was doing the entirety of the movie. And Elizabeth, is her name Isabel Thurman? Am I getting that right? Yes. She is I thought she was a great in this movie. It's just with Orphan First Killed, they got her a little too late with that movie because she got a little older. But at this time with this movie, she was nothing but spectacular. And of course, the little kid that you mentioned earlier, the little boy that is, he kind of pissed me off at the beginning. And then again, this movie did a great job towards the end. They made me feel sympathetic towards them. And of course, Max, the little girl in this movie, she was adorable. And I wanted nothing bad to happen to her. So they did a great job making you worry about her character. I could gush over this movie, so I'm going to go ahead and just get your thoughts on it. Unfortunately, last note. Unfortunately, this movie got spoiled for me. Before going into this movie a long time ago, which be careful with Watch Mojo, guys, because that whole series will spoil shit for you if you're not careful. That's how I got spoiled. But just to see the journey, how everything played out was still great. I give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. So what did you think about Orphan?
I think that this movie is so great. I remember watching it whenever I was young, and I remember because I watched it around the time it came out to I think Blockbuster. Because I remember I watched it at my dad's apartment, and he had like a Blockbuster, some type of video rental, like DVD store, obviously at this time. So whatever time it was which it was around, I would say it was probably 2010 whenever I watched it. I remember being so like, this is probably the craziest thing I had seen in my life at this point. I was just like, oh my God. Because, like, I don't remember ever being, like, shocked by Scream because I feel like I watched it too young. Same thing with, like, Signs. Like, I remember watching Signs as a kid, but what stuck with me were the bodies hanging. Mm-hmm. Not the fucking twist. That's what I remembered from that movie. And so this is, like, one of the first times I can really remember being, like, genuinely, like, holy shit. I didn't know movies could do something like that, like, that's crazy. And so it really stuck with me. A lot of it did. So much of it, like, has not left me since that first time watching it at his apartment. I remember just being like, oh, what? She's what? One of the craziest twists. I did not see it coming at all.
Mm-hmm.
That opening scene is definitely very rough. And Esther, she's just such, like, she reminds me of, like, Homelander in a way. Like, so awful.
Great comparison.
Like, you love to hate him, like, because everything you're like, I can't believe she's doing that. Like, what the fuck? But you don't, like, I just don't want to stop watching her because I'm like, What the
with
hell?
with the
It's
flowers, though, that one was like this bitch.
terrible. Like she's so awful, and you're like, you can't believe she's doing all this. Like everything she's doing is so just fucked up. Um, Ending is great. It's also a line that is said in The Ring. I think it's in The Ring too, maybe. The "I'm not your fucking mommy." Great. Oh, every time I hear it, I'm like, yes.
Oh, the sound effect too when she delivers that kick, and you saw
The
the.
neck.
Oh,
So
great.
it's so good. So yeah. And I enjoy Orphan. Hello. I enjoy Orphan First Kill for what it is. I think it for the like restrictions they had, I think they pulled it off so much better than anything. The Ring 2,
Mhm.
yeah, not a good movie, but a great
Yeah.
line. Like every time I hear, I'm like, yes, you tell them. Naomi Watts and Vera Farmiga, just they're both just so great. So,
Mhm.
gets me so excited.
And Ashton says, "I'll be honest, that was the biggest feeling in Orphan. Do wouldn't listen to anything Vera character had to say to him. Yeah, and he also fucking cheated on Vera Farmiga too. Yeah, so I would say definitely he's easily the number 2 villain.
Yeah,
Um,
the dad is a shit, just husband, and
mhm.
yeah, like I don't like him really at all either.
Yeah, and plus that transformation in that third act too, when like everything just starts to unravel, like with taking off the makeup. I was like,
I
holy
love that
shit.
shot though of like her staring into the camera and her like
Hmm.
makeup. She's crying, and so like it's all like black, and she's like
Yeah.
wiping everything off. Like I think it's such a great like way to start doing the reveal. And she removes the teeth, and you're like,
Oh my, yeah.
I was gonna be like, hold the fuck up, what's happening? Hold up.
No, it's to me in a way, it's like a transformation scene. Like she played this little girl the entire time, and then once all that happened, it's like, damn, this is a scary transformation scene. Kind of like
Mhm.
how the freaking Wicked Queen of Snow White just turned into that old hag witch, in a way. So yeah, that scene actually terrified me as well. And last question, did you saw the twist coming? Like for me, I knew about the twist, but I would easily say I would have never predicted that.
No, not at all.
And if
I
you
was
say
like,
you did, like everyone in the chat or watching this video, if you did, I don't believe you.
there's like there yeah, which I mean, granted, I was like what? I was probably like 10, 11 whenever I watched this. I was pretty young, but
Mhm.
I had no idea it was coming. I was just like,
Hold
dude,
up.
what? When they said like she was born, I think in like 78 or something, 79, I was just like,
Hmm.
huh? She's what? The fuck? And like the only thing that ever like crossed my mind were like with the ribbons, just because there's that story with the green ribbon and her neck falls off. So
Hmm.
like that, I was just like, is her neck gonna fall off? Maybe.
Oh, check 1 2, check 1 2. I think we had a little technical difficulty, so we will wait a minute to see if she comes back. Oh, there we go. You're back.
What the fuck? I was here the whole time for me.
Oh, it
That's
must be me, fan. Brad, if you're fucking watching, quit messing with my electricity.
oh my god.
But
That reminds me of the Haunting of Hill House. I was right here. I'm gonna start crying.
oh, I know that. God, that show's so good, though. Or that series. Evil Alex, we'll answer your question real quick. I still haven't seen Orphan prequel. Is it good? It's a lot of fun, and it definitely with the Orphan, it definitely goes into that particular story. So,
I like it.
yeah, it's fun. I wish I would have saw it at the theater.
And it has Julia Stiles.
Yes, and she was really good in that movie. Like anything Julia Stiles, she's good.
She was so good.
Let's see here. Oh, okay. I was just reading what they said there. All right, and I got another movie, and I know you'll be excited to talk about this because of the latest announcement or the recent announcement they made for it that we're back on track with the third movie of this particular, now what we can call a trilogy if the third movie does go into effect. But we got to talk about the first one, and man, there's a story behind this one. But I'll let Destiny explain it. And that movie is The Collector, released on July the 31st of 2009, available on Prime Video, Roku, and Tubi. So, Destiny, I'll let you go first to tell the story about your first experience with The Collector, because I remember it like it was yesterday.
I really love The Collector. I love Josh Stewart. I am a big Criminal Minds fan. He plays JJ's husband in the show. I really like him in the show. He plays Will. And so whenever I found out he was in a horror movie, I was like, what? And I was watching it. Arkin, love him. But this movie made me so just like nervous and like paranoid. I was just like anxious. Because like, I hate like, I don't know. Because I like him a lot. As in, like, I just like him. And I was like, I don't want him to die. Please. Please don't let him die. And I was like, dude, I'm so nervous. Because it was like the whole aspect of like having to be quiet and sneak around. I was like, I have to know. And I was like, dude, tell me if he dies or not. Because like, I literally no, I can't take this. I did that recently, which obviously I will not confirm or deny anything. But I had to do that recently with A Quiet Place Day 1. Because Brayden saw it early the next day. Because he saw it on a Wednesday and I was seeing it the next day. So that Thursday, I woke up and I was like, I'm going to fucking throw up if I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
I
like,
knew it was coming, but
because I was like, don't tell me, like, I'm not going to ask, like, no. And then I woke up and I was like, if you don't fucking tell me right now, like, just, I didn't know. I literally FaceTimed him. I was like, please just tell me, let me know. And then he gave me an answer and I was like, okay, now that I know, I can move out of my day. Because I was just like, hey. Because, like, there's just something about, like, I don't know. It makes me anxious to where, like, I'm not enjoying it anymore. And so that's what I was like, I'm genuinely, like, so nervous for this. If I don't know, it's all I'm going to think about, and I'm trying to work. And so it happens sometimes. But, yeah, The Collector's great. I love it. You know, I know they're saying we're back with 3, but they already fucking said that once. And so I'm patiently, like, I'm hesitantly, like, you know, that the video of Adele when she's at like a basketball game or something and the camera's like right on her and she's just like not looking at the camera. That's how I feel with the movie. I'm just like, oh, we're doing the movie again? Sure. That way I don't get my hopes up again because I was so excited for this and then they canceled it, which, yes, everything does make me nervous. It's called I have fucking anxiety. And so I want them to make it. I really want them to make it, but I don't want to get my hopes up.
But hey, the movie does a great job if it makes you feel that way. It makes you like care for the characters and all that. So you gotta give it props to the movie for making you care, or the actor itself, actor or actress. But I do remember that like yesterday because like your voice messages are like, just tell me. Like, I can just tell from the nervousness of your voice. I'm like, God, I better not joke with her. I better just tell her, or she ain't gonna make it through this movie. And so that's what I told you. You're like, oh, okay, now I get to enjoy the movie now. But no, the movie is a lot of fun with The Collector. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I also had to do that with A Quiet Place Part 2, actually, funny enough. Because I avoided the kill count. I was like, I'm not going to watch the kill count. I'm going to watch the movie first because I always get shit for it. And so I was watching the movie, and then I was like, I'm going to throw up. Does he live or die? I have to know. And so then I went and I watched the kill count, and I was like, okay, now let me finish the movie. Because I was like, I have to know. It just, I don't know why it stresses me out so much, but it does.
But no, again, that's just, again, like I said, due to the actor and the actress or like the story and everything it tells. So no, I think, again, it does a great job. It makes you feel that way. I know it's not fun for you, but at the same time, I think that's what they always try to go for too in their movies. But with The Collector Foe, it's an excellent game between like a kind of like a cat and mouse game, but in a way for this one where it's different, both the villain and the main character are both smart. And just for them battling out throughout the entirety of the movie to see which one is the smarter one, it's very intriguing to me. And it's very brutal at times too. I was like, oh shit, this is almost just as brutal as like Saul is at times too. So hopefully they could get the third movie in, like they can get their shit together and get things going with it. But I'm not going to believe it until I see a trailer. If I see a trailer, that's when I'll get excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be fuck. You can't. You can bet he fucking dies in gruesome death in Gladiator. Oh, talk about Joseph Quinn. So
Well, he's playing a bad guy. When
yeah.
I know he's
So
playing a bad guy, it's not so much like, oh, he better live. Like, there's more. I'm like, okay, obviously he's probably going to die. It's when he plays a good character, like.
yeah, like a sympathetic baby face or something.
So, like, if it's a bad character, I'm just like, well, the chances are likely he's not going to make it, and that's fine. I'm excited for that. I don't even care about Gladiator. I'm gonna have to watch the first one. I don't even really care about it, but the cast,
Yeah.
whoa,
Just
whoa.
exactly. Like the cast is what is going to get a lot of butts and seats for that movie for sure. I'm excited for Gladiator. I didn't know I thought it was coming out next year, but when I saw that trailer, it said in November. I'm like, oh shit, even better. So there we go. And Raymond wanted to ask you a quick question, and then we'll move on. Des, have you seen Criminal Minds Evolution on Paramount Plus? It's way darker than the network series.
So I had started it, and my thing with Criminal Minds is I won't say which characters leave, just in case. But there's a point where 2 main characters leave at a certain point of the show, and that's around the time I stopped watching. And so my plan was to go back, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start from the very beginning, and I'm going to watch all of it, because I did watch the first 3 episodes of the first season of Evolution. And I was like, well, I'm still missing a chunk of Criminal Minds, and I just want to go back and watch that. I started rewatching Criminal Minds, then I freaking stopped, and I just started watching other stuff. And now I'm waiting because Brayden hasn't seen it, and our plan is to watch it together, but in person. So waiting for that. So eventually I will get back into watching it, because I always see, especially now because the new season's coming out, so I keep seeing ads for it, and I'm like, oh my god, no. Eventually I'm going to get to it. So I have seen a little bit though, and so I do know of a ongoing character, a villain character, which I think is pretty cool, because he's in Midnight Mass. That's not really a spoiler. You find it out in the first episode. The guy that plays Riley in Midnight Mass, though, he's a recurring bad guy in Criminal Minds Evolution, which I think is pretty cool, because I do like him. So I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited that it's darker, because what I saw, it felt I guess maybe a little bit darker, but kind of like normal Criminal Minds. But the fact that it gets darker has me excited. There are some episodes of Criminal Minds that is actually scary. Some of them, whatever. But some of these episodes are genuinely freaky. If Matthew Gray Gubler, if he directed it, you're about to get spooked, because he is a scary fucking director when it comes to Criminal Minds. Love him. He plays Reed in the show. But now I'm off on a tangent of Criminal Minds.
No, that's awesome. No, sorry, I wanted you to answer Raymond's question in full detail, so I'm just sitting here, I'm just listening. But no, I gave Criminal Minds a chance. It's just I got burnt out with it too quick. I need to hop back on it.
I mean, because it's a lot of the same formula, but when he directs an episode, you're like, whoa, there's a change up there, and the horror actors that you see throughout the series, incredible. Robert Englund shows up, Tony Todd. You have C. Thomas Howell. He plays an awful, awful, awful character. Hate him in the show, but love him as Ponyboy. There's just so many people that show up throughout the series, so it's always so cool to see them pop up in and out. Brad Dourif, he's in the episode. That's a fucking scary episode as well.
I can only imagine.
So yeah, a lot of great people at the show.
Hell yeah, and I'll continue it when I get that itch to it. But apparently, a lot of people are throwing shows at me right now, and I have to do the order of operations. So if you want me to go back to it when it's your turn again, I'll go to it. But again, you want me to watch a different show, but I gotta get through the other ones too. So wait your turn. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to say that, or you'll kick my ass. Maddie Baker, what's going on, my friend? Haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully all's going well in your life, my friend. Midnight Mass, Brown Hearts. So there we go. So Maddie, again, hopefully all is going well, my friend.
Love Midnight Mass.
And
So freaking
Goobler should have been cast as Joker. He slayed it in that role. Nice, dude. So
I
let's
think he
see
could be
here.
good. I love him. I like he's just such a weird guy, but like in the best way. He's so funny. Every time I see like TikToks of him or him like on YouTube like interviews, he is just such an interesting guy. So many people randomly meet him because he's always just like walking around places. He has like books, so he's like on like a book tour type of thing. He's just like so interesting. He used to be a model. I'm just like, wow, he's so fascinating. I've loved him since I was a kid. I just Reed. What a guy.
So, did you have anything else from 2009?
I have one. It's one I haven't seen, but I've seen it brought up. It's called Thirst.
Okay.
I think Podmortem covered it on their show. I'm pretty sure because I wrote down like
Yeah.
a list of
It
movies.
sounds very familiar. I heard it before, but I have no idea what it's about. I'm going to assume it's not like Quenching Your Thirst or anything. I'm going to say there's a lot more to it, but what do you have any chance to know what it's about?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, while you looking at it real quick.
Horror romance, which I think Christian priest who, in order to help find a cure, volunteers to be infected with a virus that's devastating Africa. He's left with an intense craving for blood and sex.
Oh, okay. Now we know what the Quench of Thirst is now. So,
because I've seen the poster for it too, and this is what it looks like.
Okay.
It's her at the bottom and him on top.
Sorry,
Whoa.
I'm not sure why that was funny, but let's see here. Let me look at the chat real quick. But no, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Evil Alex says, Thirst is a great Korean vampire romance, very brutal and dramatic. Okay, so Evil Alex approves of you giving that a watch.
Yeah, I'll definitely add that to the list. I'm very curious.
Yeah, especially if Paul Mortem does that's kind of like the episodes I like Paul Mortem does is movies I haven't heard about them talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, because it makes you want to watch them. Like if they're covering it, it's like, oh shit, I haven't heard of it. And they're going to cover it. I better fucking watch it. So there
Exactly.
we go. And never great find there. Damn, you're spot on. And that was it for 2009, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So let's go to 2014 here. I'm just going to combine these two movies because I don't remember these movies that much. Well, one of them I haven't watched, and that's Deliver Us from Evil. I've been meaning to get around to this movie because I want to... Part of me wants to say Ty West directed this movie, or someone like kind of like familiar today, I think directed this movie. I can't remember offhand, but I've heard about this in one of my researches I did for a tournament. But I haven't seen it, but been meaning to see it. And then the second movie is Life After Beth with Aubrey Plaza in it. And I've seen this movie, and honestly, it's just okay. If you're a fan of Aubrey Plaza, give this a watch. But if not, you could just skip it. Desi, have you heard either of these two movies?
I looked it up, and it was Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson. So it was the tournament we did for Summer Slash where we took like the best modern day horror directors and and that movie popped up for Scott Derrickson. I knew it sounded familiar.
I have not seen either of them, but I have heard of both of them. Oh, damn. With Deliver Us from Evil, I don't know. I'm not really in a rush to watch that. Life After Beth, I'm curious because of Aubrey Plaza, but really, yeah. So, I mean, they're on my watch list, I guess.
Yeah, and you could take your time with the Aubrey Plaza one. There's no rush on that one.
But also, Matthew Gray Gubler, he is in that one, in Life After Beth, and I did know that. So that one obviously has the higher up between the two because of the cast itself.
Right.
And John C. Reilly.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that damn movie. It's been a while.
Wow.
But
so yeah, this is pretty good.
No, but it's just what's funny with Aubrey Plaza. I actually learned this last night. I was watching the WNBA All-Star game, and they actually had a story where Aubrey Plaza was at practice with him, and they were playing knockouts, and she fucking tore her ACL.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah, and they showed her in front row seats with a crutch and everything, where like the previous day, literally tore her ACL. I was like, damn it, Aubrey. Like, I bet your talent manager is going to love that one. But like, yeah, if you're a fan of her, definitely put it on the watch list, but no need to rush into. Lamantra, what's going on there, my friend? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well with you. Chad, what are you trying to rush me to watch here? Machine Girl and Tokyo Gore Police. No, Chad, I'm not taking any more damn movies from you after you make me watch One Eye Monster. So you're suspended until I decide to bring you back. So let's see here. The other two movies I have, will combine these as well. The first one being the second movie within the Purge franchise of The Purge Anarchy, released on July the 18th of 2014. Oh, again, Rotten Tomatoes. It's just that I think they're sort of around this mark. I think again it needs to go higher, like in the high 60s. IMDb, us good score. Letterboxd, meh. And also too, the Purge series is on Peacock right now if you like the Purge series. And then the second movie is Sharknado 2, the second one. Yes, indeed, it's called the second one. Released on the Sci-Fi Channel on July 30th of 2014. So Desi, before, I know you've seen Purge Anarchy, but have you seen Sharknado 2? Because I know last year, I think, was it your first time watching Sharknado?
No, it was Brayden's first time.
Oh, it was Brian's first time. Yeah. But have you seen the second one?
No, I stopped after one. It has Tiffany Shepis in it, though.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so Sharknado 2 is just dumb fun.
I don't know. Even like watching the first one, like I enjoyed it the first time I watched it, then watching it again on the last drive, and I was just like, oh my God. And I think Brayden enjoyed it from what I remember, but I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, this is awful. But I remember I don't know. I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm like, no. Like, I remember whenever I first got really into 80s horror, like I was super loving it. Love it. And then now I'm finding myself more as like I watch some 80s horror, I'm like, no, absolutely not. And I'm like, maybe I would have enjoyed that more like 3 years ago, but now I'm just like, no, I don't like that.
So just give me some of these modern horror movies and all that, or just like stuff that I can relate to. So.
Yeah, or something that's just not so like just I don't know. But it's just not my thing, which I know it has fans. Obviously, turn your brain off, have fun type of thing. And I'd watch it maybe like at like a Shark Fest, like a Shark Week party. No one's ever invited me to one. I'm gonna throw one myself eventually whenever I have it. So maybe I'll watch it whenever I throw my own shark party. But until then,
nice.
Yeah, I'm not.
You just gotta let us know where it's at, and we are there. Except for maybe Heather, she'll probably get hurt because she's the biggest Sharknado fan I know of.
She's bringing them. She's bringing the movies.
Okay, Heather, come on! God, plus we love Heather on this channel, so absolutely, she's invited to anything she wants. Like she could just come to my house randomly. I don't care. But what about the Purge Anarchy? Is this your favorite movie within the Purge franchise?
It is my favorite, which the Purge is definitely not one of my favorite franchises. And I haven't seen the last two in the franchise, but this is my favorite one among the three. And I did watch some of the first or from the series because it had
oh my gosh. I'm looking
Dylan,
because I know exactly who you're thinking about. I think
Cameron from Holland Kills. Dylan something. Anyways, he was in it a little bit, so I did watch it up until he is no longer.
Let's see.
So. But
you said his name was Dylan,
right?
Because the one I thought you were thinking about is Frank Grillo, who's the main person.
No, I was talking about the show.
Oh, the show. Oh, I haven't seen the show, so I have no idea.
But yeah, so the second movie is my favorite of what I've seen. But it's not my favorite of the franchises. But I do like this one. It's more action packed. We're not locked inside the house. We're out there seeing more of like what's actually happening. So yeah, I think it's the best of what I've seen.
Yeah, and I'm with you too. It's my favorite as well for the simple fact that I feel like The Purge Anarchy should have been the first Purge movie. And then the first one should have been saved for like either like the third or the fourth one, just to do something different with that. I actually recently watched the Purge 3 election year, actually on the 4th of July. I know that's the most random movie to watch on the 4th of July, but I had a really good time with it. It's just, if you're a fan of the Purge franchise, like Robbie Sobel definitely is, second time I mentioned, but he likes the weird franchises, and I respect him for that. But other than the first and the second one, and the first three, I enjoyed to an extent, but the Purge Anarchy is my favorite easily because I think it fully captures what the Purge franchise was supposed to be. But other than that, though, the last two I have not seen, and I'm in no rush to watch them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, let's see here. Research. All right, did you have anything else from 2014?
I do have one thing which I have not seen yet because I really don't know where I'm supposed to watch it. And that is Twin Peaks, The Missing Pieces. It is scenes that were cut from Fire Walk with Me. And so like I don't even know how it plays out because it's just like scenes that were cut. But it did come out in 2014. So I thought I would mention it.
Nice. You said it's called The Missing Pieces?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, it didn't show up on Just What. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. It did say anywhere to stream yet, so dadgummit. But no, definitely Twin Peaks fan. You should if you can find that for Destiny, that I know she would really appreciate that if y'all know where to find how to watch that. Sebastian, what's going on there? How are you doing? Good to see you all. Well, it's good to see you, my friend. We're glad you're here because we are going to be moving to 2019. If I could quit exiting my notes here so I can keep the show on track. Let's see here. The first one. Oh, here we go. I know you're excited to talk about this one, and I'll let you go first on it. It is Midsommar, released on July the 3rd of 2019. Excellent numbers all around. I think the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes could go way higher than that. I think in the 80s as well. But overall, though, great movie. What about you, Des? How much do you love Midsommar, or do you think it's just okay?
I love Midsommar, and this is my favorite of the Ari Aster movie. Well, I've only seen Hereditary in this one. I haven't seen Beau is Afraid. So, out of those two, though, this one's my favorite. I just love the character of Dani. I think she is such a well-written character, and I relate to her a lot throughout the movie. Like, a lot of the movie, I can't help but just be like, damn, yeah. She's like, to see someone, like, with the anxiety she has and like the family trauma and the relationship stuff she's going through and all of it play out, I'm just like, wow, that is all messed up, but I feel like I see myself a lot in her. And so I really just like her character a lot. And I think just the setting is beautiful. It looks like just stunning. I think shot is just so great. And the whole like message of the movie, I know it gets like kind of muddled between, what people interpret the ending to be and stuff. And like, yes, she is indoctrinated into a cult. Like that is, I'm very much aware of that. I did tweet like, because I had my Midsommar shirt on, and someone said like, oh, I always just find it curious when people watch to see if they know like she's a part of a cult, like blah blah blah. I'm like, fucking yeah, I do know that. I don't need you to tell me that. Annoying. Stupid response. But he's a part of a cult, but like I am very much aware of that. But this is like the first time she feels like loved, and obviously they're manipulating her to do that, to feel that way. And it's unfortunate she's part of this cult now. She's gonna die at 72, but hey, I've been through some shitty stuff too, and sometimes you might want to just get away to somewhere beautiful. So do I fully blame her for that? No, I don't. Even though, yeah, she is fucked. But she's fucked in real life regardless. So, you might as well be fucked with people around you. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just as fucked up as you are. So, exactly.
But, yeah, I think Florence Pugh is amazing in this movie. She gives such a great performance. But, yeah, it's just her character, I think, is just so relatable for me. So, Yeah.
Yeah, and that opening scene is what fucked me. Like when I first watched it, I was like, "Holy shit!" How like they probably did their whole big fuck up scene at the whole movie at the beginning, and at least that's what you thought of. And as this movie progresses, with the more fucked up shit they did, and you're like, "God, what can they freaking do to top the last thing they did?" And like you said, Florence Pugh, excellent. The cinematography in this movie, probably one of the best cinematography camera shots and just the setting I've seen in a horror movie in such a long time. Definitely, this taught me two important things. One, be careful what kind of tart you eat because you never know what's going to be placed on your tart. And then number two, everybody has to have an official pusher when you're having sex. Just seeing that freaking cold person just like me and my buddies, like we always make fun of that all the time. It's the official pusher. Like you always got the official pusher. But this movie, though, it's excellent. Definitely my favorite Ari Aster film too. I'm like you. I've seen only two. Not in the rush to see the Bow one, but definitely Midsommar. Such a classic movie. I love the shot, or I love the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that final shot was amazing too. Kind of like the resemblance of the rebirth of Florence Pugh's character too. Yeah, that was just excellently well done. And Ben, what's going on? Ben, how are you doing? Midsommar makes me thirsty for pink lemonade. If that's what you call that for a pink lemonade, so see here. And before we move on real quickly, because I saw Chad mention it, he thought Missing Pieces was on YouTube, like as a playlist.
I'll see.
Yeah, so if you want to double check him right there, if not, then that's another thing you could give him shit on. So let's see here. For the next one I have here, it's an underrated movie for me because I was really surprised when I saw this at the theater. It's a movie Crawl, was released on July the 12th of 2019. Very solid numbers all around, except for the letterbox side of things. They didn't take too kindly this movie as much as the other ones. But for me, the story with this is me and my brother were wanting to see Spider-Man Far From Home that day. But we decided we wanted to do a double movie because Spider-Man Far From Home was like a late afternoon, early evening movie, and we were at the mall, so we wanted to do something to entertain ourselves. So we decided it's like, oh, there's this little movie called Crawl. Let's go see that. It kind of looked intriguing. I absolutely loved the movie. Don't have the actress name on hand, but she was great because she was the main one from the new Resident Evil movie, Welcome to Raccoon City. She's that main girl. And just how they did the gators, like the CGI, the gators keeping them in the dark to kind of hide that CGI. I thought they looked absolutely phenomenal. And just the whole story of a hurricane, a house is getting flooded and getting destroyed, these gators enter it. What they're going to do, they're trapped in the basement. Everything is just awesome about this movie. I loved it from beginning to end. Things get a little bit out of hand towards the end, just a little bit, but not enough for me to like to really mark this movie. It's like a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I really enjoyed it. Plus, Alexander Aja directed this movie, and I thought he did a really good job with it. So, what about you, Des? What did you think about Crawl?
I've only seen this one time, and I remember enjoying it. I don't like it as much as you do. I think it's like a little bit better than like Placid, but it's just, I don't know. There's something about it that it just wasn't really. It wasn't really jiving with me. I guess I was just watching. I was like, I don't know, something I think is missing, but I liked it enough. It's not one that I've gone back to since that first time I watched it. The hurricane thing is cool though. I like that aspect of it. I think that's pretty interesting. So yeah, I remember liking it.
Nice. And yeah, I would challenge you to give it a rewatch, like maybe on a rainy day and all that, to give it a rewatch. Hopefully it changes your mind. But hey, I will take on Crawl being better than Lake Placid because I absolutely agree. It's not even close in my opinion. But so that is Crawl. And then we mentioned this earlier. We talked about a little Critters talk. So I haven't seen this, but I'm just going to get your intake on it. It's Critters Attack. That was a straight to DVD release on July 23rd of 2019. Not good numbers at all. Rent is $2.89 if you're that interested on Amazon Prime. So, Desi, have you seen Critters Attack?
I have not seen this one. I've only seen the first two. Um, I'm not. I don't know. It's kind of like how there's still Puppet Master movies that were coming out like 2019. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what y'all doing? I think at some point, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
in a
like
rush
with.
to that one.
Like, I need to see the Critters franchise too, but I'll be honest with you, I probably would have stopped at Critters Attack unless if I'm forced to by Patreon.
I mean, I really enjoyed the first one a lot more than I thought I was going to. The second one is like an Easter time movie,
Mhm.
which is pretty cool. That's when I've always like every time I see it talked about it, it's Easter. And so, but even that one, I was already like, oh man, it's already dying out for me. I can feel it.
Mhm.
So I haven't watched the third one yet, but I want to get to them. But I really enjoyed that first one. It has Billy Zane in it for a little bit.
Oh, nice. And doesn't the third one have Leonardo DiCaprio as his
I think
first
that's the one
movie?
with them. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think it's the third one.
God, I just want to see friggin' Leo in a horror movie. So that's just something. Let's see here. Ashton's only seen the first one. And been thinking about watching the Critters and the Ghoulies movies. Ghoulies is just one that just doesn't seem to interest me that much. I think the first movie of the poster is cool, but other than that, I just don't like the concept as much.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Ghoulies yet, but I was looking because I think they're on Tubi. I was looking at Tubi earlier. And I know Matthew Lillard, he's in the third one.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I'll get around to him. I've been slowly working my way through because I watched Critters 1 and 2, and then what did I watch after that? I started Trolls.
Oh,
So that's another like sort of like crittery like small things that are
oh
killing.
God, have you seen Trolls 2?
No, I know it's
Oh
bad.
no, yeah, you until you watch it, you don't understand.
I mean,
Once
I've
you
watched
watch
like
it,
videos about it and stuff like that.
probably the greatest horrible movie of all time. Like it's just so bad it's so entertaining. Hopefully you get to watch it because I just want to see just your reaction to some of the scenes in that movie. That would be a lot of fun. Let's see. Haven't seen Ghoulies, not that interested. I'm the same way, Ashton. It's not like I like the first poster of it, but other than that, what's it gonna offer me that's different than a lot of the other ones? So that is all I have from 2019. Did you add anything else?
I have two more. One of them being an animated movie, and it's one that I have not seen and didn't even know was a thing, and that is Scooby Doo: Return to Zombie Island.
Oh no.
Um, you know, crazy. I love Zombie Island. I think that's a great movie. But
Mm-hmm.
Return to Zombie Island after like all that time, because I think Zombie Island was 98. Because I
Right.
was born in 98, and Witch's Ghost was 99. But Cassandra Peterson, there is like Elvira in it, and so that has me curious. I want to see what that's about. Um, but everything else. I mean, Matthew Lillard's voice in Shaggy, so that's cool. And there's
Mm-hmm.
not like, some recognizable like of these like actors and stuff, but yeah, haven't seen it.
Well, it's just my thing is why did they need to go back to Zombie Island when they've conquered it? And plus, I've seen a little bit of it. Like the animation is not as good as the original one, and you had like what, like almost 20 plus years to like really nail down that animation and all that, and then so it's just like I'm not sure why they made it, but with the
Yeah,
whole Elvira thing that you mentioned, Cassandra Peterson, that has me interested now too.
they're probably like watching TV and she pops up. That's what it kind of looks like.
Oh, okay,
So it's kind of like false advertising.
yeah,
Anyways,
damn.
oh wait, I don't know. That's Daphne back there. So yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I'm looking at images right now, and this honestly looks really bad.
Mm-hmm. Like the
Very, very,
animation just doesn't look as
yeah,
clean as it did back then. It's just something about that animation, and
and I
I'm
love
glad
it,
you mentioned the Witch's Ghost because that will be talked about within the coming months.
which is my
Uh,
favorite Scooby Doo movie.
yeah.
Probably out
Ooh.
of like any Scooby Doo, including live action. Like
Ooh.
I love Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost so freaking much. That's all I'll say for now.
That is a big statement, and I'm surprised you have not bought a Hex Girl shirt that's been all over TikTok lately.
I try not to buy stuff from TikTok.
I know. I'm trying not to
Like,
either, but they just have some cool shit.
when they're like, "Oh, this purse is $4," it's like, why?
Yeah. I
Nothing.
asked that question too, but at the same time, it's just like it's so cool. Like, I know, but when I saw that, I was like, I'm surprised Des has not bought a Hex Girl shirt yet.
I love the Hex Girls. Love
So,
Scooby Doo Ghost so much.
the Hex Girls. All right. So, was that it from
Oh,
2019?
one more. One
Oh,
more.
go for it.
I have
Oh, yeah, that's right.
the Banana Splits movie,
Oh, God.
which I have not seen, but I have seen the kill count, and it's not one that I have. It's not one that like these type of movies are just not my favorite. Like the animatronic, like Willy's Wonderland, I think I enjoyed that one. Five Nights at Freddy's, I did not enjoy. This one is on my watch list, but not like not rushing to watch it. Because even watching the kill count, like I don't know, the story kind of seems not the best, but I'm interested because it's like the banana splits. It's made into a horror movie, so
Yeah, and the poster kind of looked cool too, so that's why. But I'm like with you. I'm just when I get to it, I get to it. Like I'm content with Willy's Wonderland because I adore that movie. Like it's your birthday. Okay, I'm not going to sing, but was that it for 2019?
yep, that is it.
Hell yeah. So let's go into that last year. Like we said, we will celebrate the horror movies from last year because we want to spotlight them. And let's go with this first one here. We got Insidious 5, The Red Door. It is on Netflix right now if you are curious about it. And it seemed like the audience really enjoyed this one on the Rotten Tomatoes side of things. And I'll just be honest with you, this movie is just okay with me. Like, I think it does tie the story together with whatever story they had left of it. But just to me, they could have done way more with this movie, especially with Rose Byrne. I feel like that's the big criminal of the movie is that she was not given hardly anything to do. I understand it's not her movie, but she plays such a crucial part in 1 and 2 Insidious. So I thought they would give her something way more to do in it. But I will say the CT scan scene, that one was the most effective scene in the entire movie. Other than that, everything is just mediocre at best for me. Not the best one in the franchise, but I don't think it's the worst one. The Lost Key or The Last Key is the worst one. So what about you? What did you feel about this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I would put this after the first and second one because I rewatched 3 recently for prequels. Yeah, we're talking about prequels on Fear Freak. So I rewatched that one because I hadn't seen it so long. Just didn't like it. At least this one has like the family. I mean, not a lot of them, like you said. It doesn't have Rose Byrne in it that much, which doesn't really bother me that much, honestly. Just because like I wasn't really expecting her to be in that much in it, regardless going into it. This had one of my worst theater experiences. Britt and I went and saw this, and it was like only our second time I think seeing a movie together, and it was awful. Like people are like playing musical chairs, basically just getting up and down, like constantly walking around and talking. It was just so fucking annoying. It was literally one of the most like frustrating times I've had at the theater. But overall, I think I gave it 3 out of 5. Like I thought it was fine. It was about what I expected going into it. There was a jump scare that definitely got both of us, and it was the part where he's painting and it just like pops up out of nowhere. Oh my god, that fucking got me. I really like that scene though. I thought like the scares, I thought, they were, you saw them coming, but I still found them to be effective. A lot of times when I see them coming, I'm like, whatever, and then it happens. But some of these, even though you know it's about to happen, it still would get me. So I don't think it was a terrible movie. Patrick Wilson directing it, I think was pretty cool. The song at the end.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Ghost as it is, and so to have a song with Ghost and Patrick Wilson singing, because I also am a big fan of Phantom of the Opera, which he is in. And so to have that song was so cool. I was really excited. I made Brandon, I was like, we have to stay and listen to the song play out at the very end. And so we did. And I was like, that was a terrible experience. I love the song.
Yeah, it's like this was a horrible movie experience, but I want to listen to that fucking song. It's like if anything can make up for it. Which I'm sorry you have to go through those horrible movie experiences. So hopefully you all get to have a good movie experience with each other eventually.
I mean, we saw Lisa Frankenstein. It was great because it was just us in the theater, which
Oh.
we didn't really like the movie that much, though. So then I was like, damn, but at least like the experience was good because no one was freaking in there. It was just us. And people had bought tickets, and the closer we kept getting to like the time, they were like re-popping back up as empty seats. And by the time we got in there, it was just us. And I was like, this is amazing because this has never happened before to me.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world, isn't it?
Yes, I really like that. So we had a great theater experience with that, just not our favorite.
The movie. So you're close, but we'll get there eventually. So I saw two more people hop in, so we'll get their shouts real quick. We got Mega Cat. What's going on there, Mega Cat? How are you doing? And we got Gory Tiger. What's going on there, Gory Tiger? And yes, Jamie, we are still here, but we're getting close to wrap up because we only got two more movies to talk about. But before the last big movie to talk about, I'll go ahead and mention this one. Just go a little out of order. This is the Haunted Mansion. Disney's like, I would probably say a remake at this point, released on July 28th of 2023. I saw this which the audience had a great time with this movie. And I agree. It's such a fun movie, but is it a great movie? No, it's just a good movie. Kind of like it has like the Hocus Pocus 2 effect. It's just a good family movie for the Halloween season if you have like kids around. It's that kind of fun horror. I wouldn't even say it's a horror movie. It didn't really scare me at all. But it's just a fun movie. Kind of has that Hocus Pocus 2 effect to it. But have you had any interest in seeing Haunted Mansion, the newer one? Or well, actually, have you seen the other one with Eddie Murphy?
Of course.
I haven't seen that one. Is that one any good?
I mean, I watched as a kid, so I don't
Oh,
know.
like remember it.
I was like 5, but I was watching it. But I have not seen the new one though.
Mm-hmm. Any interest?
Maybe
Just like you'll
Hocus Pocus too, but I had a much of a bigger connection to Hocus Pocus than Haunted Mansion.
right.
Like you said, if I'm ever like with kids, which I'm not really with like small kids often, but maybe if they in this ideal scenario, I don't know. The chance if someone's like, hey, you want to watch this, I will watch it, but am I going to sit down and just put it on for myself? No. You know what I mean? So yeah, if other people are watching it and I'll sit down and give it a shot.
Yeah, and I agree with Chad. Like, it's fun. That is. So it's like you're not gonna, if you do like watch it or like someone else just has it on, you're just in there. Like, you'll just have fun with it. So I do agree with Chad right there. Yeah, exactly. So the last movie we'll freaking talk about here, very popular horror movie from last year, got around with the Sundance, like with a bunch of festivals, if they got to the big screen here. And I think I did have a comment from somebody earlier. Yeah, it was Sebastian saying, I just got into A24, which, hey, good man. A24 has a lot of good horror movies and non-horror movies, too. Saw Pearl X and Talk to Me. This is my next on the list, which, hey, better time than any, because that's the movie we're just getting ready to talk about here. To finish it off, it is Talk to Me, released last year on July the 28th. Great numbers all around, and I absolutely agree with these numbers. I think Talk to Me was a very, very effective horror movie. Like, not like to me, but like to some other people that have like deal with like personal problems and all that this movie really dives into. Like, it just gives a different intake on like those dark sides of the mind and everything. It's just, to me, just very effective. Like the whole hand scene with like the little kid was scary. Just a lot of good scary parts to it. Not like from a jump scare perspective, just like a mentality of like what this movie explores. So I really like this movie, or really love this movie. It was one of my favorites from last year. What about you? Was this one of your favorite movies from last year?
This was my favorite movie of last year. And even that being said, I felt like I was a tad bit, I don't know what I was when I left the theater. I was like, I don't even know. I was like, well, first of all, I was like, Brayden, you didn't freaking warn me of anything in this movie. What the freak? And he was like, I didn't know. You wanted to know. And I was just like, okay, fine. And so I just like left the theater. I was like, damn, that was really fucked up. And I only seen it that one time. I did get it for Christmas, though. I asked for the Blu-ray for Christmas, and I haven't opened it up yet. But again, I had a shitty theater experience for this, too. And that also just pissed me off. Like, I get genuinely just like so fucking like it. I don't even want to watch the movie anymore and that goes for like even watching movies at home. If we're watching a movie at home and you're freaking talking, and if it's like if we're watching stream, and we're having a conversation, that's fine. But if I'm like showing you a movie and you're talking, I don't want to watch the movie now. And so like it just seriously gets on my nerves. And so it kept taking me out. But I do remember finding it to be very unsettling. That opening was so freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it. I think Sophie Wilde, I believe is her name. She was amazing in this. She was so incredible. The range of emotion she has to show, and everything they're doing while they're being like possessed by the hand. It's just so, and like I think the whole concept of it's pretty cool because it's not like theoretically or like on paper, it's not anything necessarily we haven't seen because it's like a Ouija board in a way, but the fact that it's like this hand that's doing it is so cool. It's definitely a unique take on it. So
I'm trying.
But yeah, I think I thought Talk to Me, it's a great movie.
No, hey, put it there. But yeah, I agree with it. It's an excellent movie. It's just like Sebastian said, it's a fresh take on like something they've been doing before. Let's see here. Brayden fucking fell asleep for a movie right next to me and sounded like the boy had a wood chipper. God.
He is like the loudest motherfucker when he's asleep. I'm like, there's like times where I'm like, I'm about to like push him off this bed. I've had to wake him up and be like, dude, you're like,
dude, shut the fuck up.
Especially if he's like drinking. There was like one time I literally was like pushing him because he is out cold. But I was like, I'm gonna have to go sleep downstairs if you don't stop because it's like ridiculously loud. And I'm a very light sleeper and a very particular sleeper. Like lights off, fan on, in my face, barely any noise. So like every single thing is like. But now I'm used to it though. Now it's like honestly like white noise. Now it just it puts me to sleep.
No, I'm just making notes. Here. Like, I'll just say when I'm on my side, I'm great. But when I'm on my back, game over. I'll snore. So it's
not a good spot. There's not a good
God.
spot. Even if it's turned over, it's still no. So, but yeah, now it's just like whatever.
No, but no, I also made a note too, because when I'm showing somebody a movie, I talk through it because I'll be like, oh, okay, you see about this part behind the scene feature. Like I'll do stuff like that when I'm showing some of my movies. I'm just making a note. I'm not going to show you a movie because I'll talk through it and you'll get pissed off. So just making notes.
It does.
Like the watch parties are different because we just like talk, but like
you have to talk. But fuck no.
Yeah, fuck no. But so anything else you want to mention about Talk to Me?
Nope.
Awesome. And then you didn't find anything else from the year 2023?
I did.
Oh, did I miss a big one?
And that is Cobweb, because there was a theater release that was overshadowed by Barbenheimer. Because they were like, why would you release this movie? That is a Halloween time movie, first of all. It's an October-based movie. And you released it when Barbie and Oppenheimer were coming out. And so it definitely was quite overshadowed. But it has Anthony Starr, and I always forget her name, and I feel so terrible. But Janice from Mean Girls. You have them playing a couple in this movie, and they're really freaking weird. And shit's crazy. And the ending is not that great. But
Lacey Kaplan.
Yeah, the movie itself, I think, is a great one to add to your list during October. because it has like great Halloween vibes, but then it just gets really strange. But yeah, Cobweb. I think it's pretty all right for what it is.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's a solid horror movie, especially in that October season. It's definitely like fit for it. And plus, like we mentioned earlier, Anthony Starr as Homelander is unsettling. He brings that unsettlingness into that character as well. So I think it's definitely all around. And yeah, I'm with you. Why the hell would they release it with Oppenheimer and Barbie coming out? That is like the worst thing you can ever do for a movie. It's just you should let them have that entire month to themselves and then release this in October. Even though we get a lot of good October releases from 2023, but I agree with you. Cobweb should have gotten treated a lot better because it was good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and was that the only one from 2023?
Yes.
Awesome. So I will go. I know we are at the 2 hour mark, so I'm trying to make sure to not avoid the $20. So let's go to the worst of July real quick, just to wrap everything up. Candyman 3 dominates most of the categories here, where Critters Attacks dominates the IMDb with the worst. So for these two particular movies, do not watch them unless if you're just curious. And then best of July, we got Talk to Me with the Rotten Tomato critics. Haunted Mansion from 2023 dominated the audience one for Rotten Tomatoes. Talk to Me and Midsommar tied on IMDb, and Midsommar dominated in Letterboxd. So for these particular movies, absolutely give them a watch. And before we go, any other comments about these movies or anything coming up?
Candyman 3, I don't know about all that, but I feel like I ever liked it as a kid. I don't know. Anything coming up? Fear Freaks, hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. So hey, they better, or we're gonna start having a oh god, I can't. I'm so 2 hours of straight talking. I might need a mental break. But Ash just once says, "Thanks for the stream, friends, and get that $20 ready." Yeah, I fucked the pooch today, so I'm gonna have to owe $20. But do still appreciate Destiny hanging out today. Appreciate everyone hanging out in the chat. We will be back from the dead here in about 2 weeks in August. We will be, let me get y'all exact date real quick. August the 4th is when we will celebrate the horror movie anniversaries for the month of August. Destiny, again, thank you so much for hanging out. And we're going to skedaddle on out here, and we will see you all next month for the next one.